Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and you've reached Chris Loves Luxe. Today we're going to do a foundation wear test. And by the thumbnail, you probably guessed which foundation and exactly how much the foundation costs. So what we'll be going over today is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation. I have the color after trying to get matched via the website, which wasn't working. I called Beautylish as well. Their Beautylish, just in case you don't know, has superb customer service. The girl stayed on the phone with me for probably 20 minutes trying to figure out, based on all of my other foundations, what would be the right match. Unfortunately, we just couldn't figure it out. And everything was closed at the time, so no mall was open for me to go to and check. There was no way for me to figure it out, so I just kind of guessed. I went on Foundation. In case you don't know, a lot of times you can use Foundation. It's a great website to get matched based on current foundations that you wear. However, Foundation told me I was 8.7 Golden Almond. And this is the box that it comes in. Very pretty box, very pretty packaging for the whopping $150 that this foundation costs. So I went with it. I said, okay, I'm going to order Golden Almond. And here's Golden Almond. Now, you can probably tell already that's one shade too light for me, right? This is not working. So when I tried it, it left a cast. I looked very light and pasty. So this has to go back to Beautylish because that's where I ordered it from. So I have to just ship this one back. And then after I got this from Beautylish, Nordstrom's opened. So I just went into Nordstrom's where they have all the shades, and I picked up the next shade, which is 9.5 Warm Almond, and this is a match. I currently have it on now. Anything deeper was just too deep. So this is a shade match for me, especially in the winter. I probably could have went one shade down, but I think that would have just been too warm, too dark. So I'm going to work with this. I am this shade in my Traceless Foundation Stick by Tom Ford as well. So that it worked for me. So today though, what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a wear test. So I'm going to wear this all day. So what do I have going on today? Well, I have to do some last minute shopping for I'm cooking for my brother and I. We're having a little bonding time going on today, so I'm doing all seafood because that's our favorite thing, seafood and champagne. So I'm cooking mussels and all this other stuff, so that's what we're going to be eating today. So I have to run out and get some last minute items, ingredients for my meal. So I'm going to do that. You know, I'm going to be wearing a mask. It's hot outside today, so I'm going to be sweating. I have oily skin, so it'll be interesting to see how this foundation operates with my skin and if it is worth the $150 that I paid for it. Okay, let's read what it says on the website. A full to medium coverage foundation with 3-dimensional radiance that reflects soft light. The fade-resistant, moisturizing, nourishing, and protecting formula contains a blend of advanced elastomers and light diffusing powders to create the perfect radiant surface. Fancy. Perfect radiant surface. We're going to see about that, Mr. Tom Ford. Designed to create the appearance of flawless skin, this foundation also nourishes with breathable protection and is infused with hyaluronic acid to moisturize for a plump, dewy look. Now, I love hyaluronic acid. I actually have a serum that I use almost I do use it every day, sometimes twice a day, to really nourish the skin. It does give a nice plump look, a nice fresh look. Even those of us that are have an oily skin or combination oily skin, it's still something that helps us out. So this foundation has a skincare element to it, so that also adds to the cost. Between the packaging, the fact that it's Tom Ford, and the skincare elements of it does makes sense why the product costs more than the normal $88 that its foundation costs. So at this point, we're going to go ahead into the wear test. I'm going to apply the foundation and everything else, and then we'll be back with my final thoughts. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now that my eyes and everything are done. I am going to first prime. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime one side of my face and then not the other side. And the reason I'm going to do that is just really want to see what this $150 foundation is really going to do, right? So I'm going to go in with my Holy Grail primer, which is the Milk Hydro Grip primer. And again, I'm only going to do this side of my face. I am not going to prime the other side. Okay, I'm just going to leave my nose alone. I'm only going to prime the side, all of this side. So the right side of my face, my dominant hand, is primed. I'm going to leave this unprimed. What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to use any blur stick. I'm not going to use my prep and prime. I'm not going to use any of my additional primers. I'm just going to do that. So we're going to go in again with Warm Almond, color number 9.5. Shake it up a little bit. I'm going to start off with one pump. Oh, one very large pump. And what I'm going to do is, because consistency is, it's not too runny, but it does run a little bit. So I'm just going to do this. I don't know if this dries quick, so we're going to work a little fast and see what this one pump gives us. Okay, I'm going to take my favorite foundation brush, and I'm going to, I don't like the way it, I can already tell I don't like the way this applies with my brush. It's a little harder. It's a little harder to blend out. I'm gonna switch brushes really quick. I don't like the way this is. I'm gonna go over it with my beauty blender. See if I can get a better, yeah, that's much better. So for me, I like this better with a damp sponge. It's pretty much a perfect match. Definitely not full coverage. I have some coverage and didn't even do my nose yet. I really don't need that much coverage, but I am going to put a little more. Ooh, dropping $150 bottle. And what I am going to do though, I'm going to apply with this. Oh, really, Christine? Let me just get that out. A little more coverage right now. You guys see a difference? I mean, my skin is looking very, it's not dewy, it's like a soft matte. It feels good. It is not heavy at all. It's very lightweight. And it does give me coverage. I'm even tone here. But meanwhile, you can still see some of my moles and freckles, which is okay because I embrace it. I don't have to cover it. This is very even. Again, I don't like, and it could be my brush. It probably would go on better with a different brush. I use this brush for a lot. With all my Pat McGrath foundation, my La Mer foundation, it all goes on with this with no problem. I switched to the Marc Jacobs one. Oh, and it did soak up a lot of product, as you can see right there, right? Which I'm going to use. I'm not wasting product. So, and it's still, even though I'm adding this product on and I'll go over it, I don't want this product sitting in my brush. I'll use a beauty blender. One of the challenges that I had was picking out the right color, like I talked about earlier. But this turned out to be the same color as my Traceless foundation stick by Tom Ford. And I am really liking this color match a lot. But now we have to see about how this is going to last throughout the day. Like I said, I have a lot going on today. Well, not a lot, but I am cooking today. I'm going to the supermarket to get a couple of items, and we're having a little seafood thing going on at my house with my brother and I, having some bonding time. So because I'll be cooking and running around and doing a couple of errands, this will be a good time to test it. I have oily skin again, combination leaning oilier in the summer. So let's see how this turns out. I do like the way it makes my skin feel though. I mean, seriously, it's not weighted down at all. Sometimes when you put a foundation on, it just makes your face feel heavy, your skin feel heavy. In my mind, I'm keep looking in the light just to make sure from different angles, looking in my mirror. I don't see it feeling, or looking rather, very heavy at all. Now again, I'm having a very good skin day. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and set the whole all of the foundation. I'm just not going to set under my eye because I'm going to put some concealer on. But I am always do that, pour out too much. I am going to set using my Chanel powder in the original powder, not the new one that she has out, the natural loose finish powder, natural finish loose powder. I used the color translucent 3, which looks like such. I am going to cover my face with it. This one. A lot going on there. I'm gonna just a little too much. And it's not going. Now I'm going to just throw on some concealer, I am going to go in with Pat McGrath concealer, the Skin Fetish Sublime Concealer in M18, and then I'm going to use a little M21. I have dark circles and bags. I'm gonna use that. Then I'm gonna put some M21 a little further down here. That's all I'm gonna do today. I'm not going to do the whole thingamajig. I am gonna let that dry down a little bit. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go into my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer and get bronzed up while that is working it out. While that's drying down, I'm going to go in with my Refer 22 brush. I mean, that's serious bronzing going on. You see how, look at how I barely had to do it. It's not even a lot on my brush, and it's working it out. I like to bring my bronzer in just a little bit since I have a 5-finger head. My earrings are in my way. Okay. Don't need extra. Just use the leftover. Give yourself a little highlight. That's why I did not put any on my Cupid's bowl, because I can just use the rest. Okay. Now I'm going in with my other Chanel powder, Translucent 2, for that under eye. I love this powder. I have backups because it is discontinued. It's hard to find in other places. Actually, I think it's sold out everywhere now. So before that happened, I got backups, which are right there on display. It really blurs your under eye. See how refreshed my under eye looks? Between the Pat McGrath's concealer getting rid of some of that. I probably could have put a little more on, but that's okay. I want the foundation to work more than that, more than the concealer. Just working some more of that bronzer in. Just wanna just to give myself a little more chisel. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to finish my face, and then we'll be back to start the wear test. Okay, I finished off my look, put a little bit of peach blush on, a little bit of Hourglass highlighter, the ambient highlighter, finished off with some lashes, mascara on the lower lash line, and also smoked out my lower lash line just a little bit. And just in case you guys were wondering what's on my eyes, I did use the Jackie Aina palette with her collaboration with the Anastasia Beverly Hills. On my lips, I have Ground Control lip liner by Pat McGrath, and just the Peach Perversion lip gloss by Pat McGrath as well. So here's the finished look for right now. Now it's time to put this $150 foundation to the test. Is it all it's cracked up to be? Is it worth the $150 that it cost? And that's what we're going to see. Again, this side of my face is primed with the Milk Hydra Grip. This part is not. I did not use a setting spray on purpose. Let's see what happens without the setting spray. Let's truly see how this foundation operates. I do like the way my skin looks. I do love how the look came out, but I'll check back in, and I'm probably about 3 hours. I'll do another 3 and then another 3. We'll give it like a true 9-hour, maybe 10-hour test. So let's see. So I'll see you guys soon. Hey everybody, I'm back checking in. When I started, I should have told everybody what time it was, but the time was close to 3 o'clock. It was about 3 o'clock when I had actually finished my face. So let's see, the time is now 5:55. And let me just bring you in a little closer. So after 3 hours, there's just a little bit of shine, and that might have to do with the fact that I have cooked, eaten in a very hot kitchen because I was broiling lobster tails and doing this and doing that. Also had a little of the bubbly, a little champagne and everything. So sometimes that brings a little extra sweat to my face. So looking at it, my face still looks pretty flawless. I don't know. I have a little bit of shine right there, but not really that much. I've been outside. I ran to the supermarket and I cooked. I've eaten. As you can tell, there's no more lipstick. And this is what it's looking like. So what I'm going to do at this point is wait another 3-4 hours or so, and then we'll check back in. Okay? We'll talk soon. Bye. Hi everybody, it's time for another check-in, and the last check-in for the evening. Last time we checked in, it was close to 6 o'clock. We started at 3 and it is now 10 o'clock on the nose. Let's try that again. It's 10 o'clock on the nose. And so that's about 7 hours of wear. And I figured at this point, it is late for me. It's time for me to go to bed. I get up very early in the morning on Saturdays. I actually get up at 4:30 a.m. So at this point, it's time for me to clean this off. So I figured I'd check in and give you my final thoughts. So let me take my glasses off, which have been on for some time now, and let's see what this foundation is looking like. So before I pan you in, let me just say I am loving the way my face looks. After 7 hours of wear, and just to go over what it is that I've been doing, I went to the supermarket, I cooked a full meal, I've eaten, I've hung out with my brother. We went walking, not that far. We went walking a couple of blocks just to go visit our father, and then we came back. But it is 93 degrees outside, and like I said, I am very oily, and not only am I very oily, I do sweat a lot. So after the sweating and everything else that we were doing, and we cleaned our father's house, etc., this is what you see. It's not that much different from what you saw 7 hours ago, other than my lipstick is gone, right? So when you look at my skin in the actual foundation, you do see I have some shine right here, if you can see, and shine in my T-zone, which is typical for me, considering the fact that I am very oily. So I'm going to bring you in a little closer so we can see what it's looking like a little closer. And if you could recall, this side is primed and this side is not primed. And you can see a little more oil production in the side that's not primed than the side that is. And that has a lot to do with the fact that I love my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. It does keep my oils at bay a lot better than me not wearing one at all. And you can see it's a little more blurred on this side of my face than it is on this side of my face. Okay, so let's talk foundation. Let's talk the $150 that this foundation actually costs. And the question becomes, Christine, would you spend the $150 again? And the answer is yes, I would. I would spend the $150 again, and let me explain why. Even after 7 hours of wear, most of my foundations do begin to break up. They begin to break up in the areas where I wear my glasses. So specifically, if I put my glasses on, again, I get a lot of foundation just breaking up all here. And then, not just that, I get little indentations in my nose, and the foundation, it kind of just the glasses seep into the foundation. It didn't happen here. I don't know if it's a cushion. I don't know what's going on with this foundation. All I know is my glasses, there are no marks. Now come closer. There are no marks, right? And my skin, it still looks like skin. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't feel heavy. I still have the right amount of coverage. Again, I don't have blemishes. I don't have a lot of things going on with my skin. But at the same time, my skin is still even. It still looks clear. I honestly could probably go another 4 hours with it, if not longer, and not really have to touch it up. Now, I will say, because it feels so weightless, I forgot I had it on. And so while I'm eating, and typically you wipe your mouth, and I was patting with my my napkin as I was eating, I didn't get a lot of transfer onto the napkin. Some naturally, but not a lot. And yet my face still looks good. Still see the evenness. Of course, my concealer, the PAC concealer, is just bomb, let me tell you. But anyway, that's another video. But I do like the way my skin looks. I think the color is spot on. With it matches my chest and my neck almost perfectly. I love the way this foundation looks. A lot of my other foundations, I would have had a lot of separation around my nose, a lot at the Cupid's bow. I also tend to get a lot of separation right underneath my lip from the, whether you're eating or whatever it is. If you're talking on the conference calls all day, you tend to get a lot of just because this is the part of your face that moves, in my opinion, that moves the most. You get a lot of breakage, like it just breaks apart, where you have to find yourself blotting, etc. Quite often. I didn't blot with any powder all day. This is no blotting with powder. Other than the occasional napkin because I was sweating, but other than that, this is what you've got. And I really think this foundation did a very good job. $150 is an exorbitant amount of money to spend on a foundation. I will agree. However, I will also say that if you have the $150 to spend on the foundation, I would say this is the foundation for you. If you're okay with the medium to full coverage, in my mind, it's not really full. You know, I don't have a lot of imperfections to cover, but I will say that it does lighten up the places where I do have it, right? It does cover it up relatively well. But I will say that if you're looking for something very heavy and you want something runway ready and you have a lot of hyperpigmentation, this may not be the one for you if that's what you're trying to cover up. But if you don't have a lot of severe acne or severe hyperpigmentation, this is definitely the one for you. Many people see the word radiant and they run for the hills when they're oily and have oily skin. I didn't have any issues with this foundation. I am very happy with this purchase. Would have loved for it to only be $88 like the other Tom Ford foundations, but be that as it may, I do recommend the foundation. Now, there is another foundation on the market by Estee Lauder that is a third of the price, and I'm hearing that it gives you the same type of benefits and the same type of coverage. So look out for that video where I will be comparing that Estee Lauder Radiant Foundation against this Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. But in the meantime, if you have the $150, go get you some Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation. If not, wait for the Estee Lauder wear test and see if they compare or how they compare. That's the question. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed watching the wear test. If you did, please press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Would you pay $150 for a foundation, or am I crazy? It's okay if you say I'm crazy. I'm used to that one. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye, guys.